You know that sinking feeling, right? You're driving along, maybe totally lost in thought, and suddenly, boom, flashing red and blue lights right there in your rearview mirror. Your heart just drops. You've been handed a traffic ticket. It's incredibly stressful, it's frustrating, and honestly, the absolute last thing you want to do is spend hours trying to figure out how to resolve it, or even worse, standing in a massive line down at the courthouse. But hey, I've got some good news for you. In today's digital age, we can handle almost all of this right from the comfort of the couch. Welcome to this explainer. Today we are breaking down exactly how to pay a traffic ticket online in Polk County. And we're going to take all the confusion out of the process to save you some serious time.
So I have to ask you straight up, did you get a traffic ticket in Polk County? If you're going through this explainer, there's a really good chance you did, and I completely validate the stress you're feeling right now. You probably just want to pay the fine, get it over with, and move on with your life. You might even be thinking, hey, I'll just search for Polk County traffic ticket payment online and I'll be done in like 5 minutes. Well, hold on just a second, because if you do that without knowing the facts, you are about to walk right into a massive jurisdictional trap that catches thousands of well-meaning drivers every single year.
All right, let's dive into this. 12. What exactly does that number mean for us? It means there isn't just one Polk County in the United States. There are 12 totally different Polk counties scattered all over the country. We're talking Florida to Iowa, Georgia to Texas, and all the way up to Wisconsin and Oregon. And here's the kicker. Each of these 12 jurisdictions has its own completely separate court system, its own local rules, and its own entirely different online payment portal. If you accidentally log into the wrong Polk County portal, you won't find your ticket. You'll probably panic thinking it got lost in the system, or you'll end up wasting hours on hold with the wrong clerk's office. Paying the wrong one is a giant headache, and we are going to make sure you avoid it today.
Okay, so here is our roadmap for this explainer. First, the preparation. Second, the step-by-step guide. Third, troubleshooting delays. Fourth, hidden pitfalls. And finally, the legal realities.
Let's jump right into Section 1, the preparation.
Now, this very first step actually happens before you even think about touching a keyboard or opening a web browser. I need you to sit down and physically look at your paper citation. You need to identify the specific state jurisdiction, locate the exact citation number, and note the specific court. Just glance at the top corners of your ticket. What state is it? This stuff is highly localized. For instance, a traffic ticket issued by the city of Orlando absolutely cannot be paid in Polk County, Florida. Tickets have to be handled in the exact county where they were issued. So once you confirm you are in fact dealing with a Polk County, double-check that state. Is it Polk County, Iowa, or Polk County, North Carolina? Pinpoint your citation number right away, because that is basically your golden ticket to the online systems.
Moving on to Section 2, the step-by-step guide.
So while the specific county websites are all going to look completely different, you really just need to follow 4 overarching steps, and these apply to practically all the online court systems out there, whether you're in Florida, Iowa, or Arkansas. Step 1, identify your state's portal. Step 2, find your citation number. Step 3, access the portal and run your search. And Step 4, pay the fine and save your receipt. Just to give you an idea, in Florida, you might use a central registry called PayFL Clerk, which will then redirect you to the local site. In Iowa, you'll go straight to the state judicial branch website at iowacourts.gov. In Texas, you're probably going to use a system called GovRec for the Justice of the Peace Courts. It's really all about finding the right digital front door for your specific state.
Now, listen up, because this is a massive insider tip for when you are actually typing your info into the search bar. The right way to do it is to enter your citation number only. Just the number. The wrong way is to enter your name, the citation, and your date of birth all at the same time. Why? Because across a ton of these county portals, especially down in Florida, overfilling those search fields is literally the fastest way to get a super frustrating no results found error. These databases are incredibly sensitive. If you put in your first and last name, plus your license number, plus the citation, the system just gets totally confused. So less is definitely more here. Search with just one piece of information, ideally the citation number all by itself, to make absolutely sure you get a match.
All right, that brings us to Section 3, troubleshooting delays.
So, let's say you've got the right state, you typed in just the citation number like we talked about, and crickets. Nothing shows up. If you log on the day after you get a ticket and don't see it in the system, please do not panic. You are most likely just experiencing database latency. That's just a fancy way of describing the administrative delay between the moment a police officer hands you that ticket on the side of the road and the moment it gets manually uploaded by a clerk and finally appears in the online court portal. It is rarely instantaneous. This kind of lag is totally 100% normal. And to put that into perspective, upload times vary wildly depending on where you are. In Polk County, Oregon, tickets are usually in the system within 24 hours, super fast. But in Polk County, Florida, the clerk actually asks you to allow 5 to 7 calendar days before you even attempt to make a payment. In Georgia, it can take up to 14 days. And in Polk County, Iowa, the wait is a staggering 14 to 21 calendar days. Honestly, if you're in Iowa and you still don't see your ticket after 21 days, only then should you actually pick up the phone and contact the clerk of court. So patience is definitely key here.
Let's look at Section 4, Hidden Pitfalls.
Beyond just delays, there are a few highly localized technical traps you really need to be aware of. For instance, in Polk County, Georgia, the online payment system will automatically lock you out on the actual day of your scheduled court date. If you procrastinate and try to pay online the morning of your court date, the ticket will just display as not payable, and you'll be stuck dealing with a failure to appear. Over in North Carolina, the NC Courts portal actually blocks international IP addresses. So if you happen to be an international traveler or you're just out of the country on vacation trying to pay a North Carolina ticket, you are going to need a US-based VPN just to access the site. And back in Florida, just be aware that the state centralizes payments through a portal called PayFL Clerk, which smoothly redirects you back to the local Polk County Clerk site. Knowing these local quirks is absolutely essential for a smooth process.
And finally, Section 5, Legal Realities.
Look, it is absolutely vital to understand this next part. In almost every single jurisdiction, paying a traffic ticket online constitutes a formal plea of guilty or no contest. By taking the convenient route and just paying it from your couch, you are legally waiving your right to a court appearance, you're waiving your right to a trial, and you are formally closing the case as a conviction. And because it counts as a conviction, it gets reported straight to your state's Department of Motor Vehicles. That can result in points being assessed directly onto your driver's license. Take the Polk County Probate Court in Georgia, for example, which enforces a pretty strict schedule. If you get caught going 15 to 18 miles per hour over the limit, it's a $145 base fine and 2 state license points. But if you're going 34 to 37 miles per hour over, that jumps to a $350 fine and a massive 6 points. You really have to weigh the convenience of a quick online payment against the long-term impact those points will have on your driving record and, of course, your insurance premiums.
Now, if you ignore the ticket or somehow miss the deadline entirely, the stakes are incredibly high. Depending on your specific Polk County, the consequences can include automatic driver's license suspension, which happens really swiftly in Florida if you don't act within 30 days. You could be looking at hefty late fees, collections actions, and formal failure to appear notices. And in some places, like Polk County, Wisconsin, the court can literally impose jail time for non-payment. We're talking 1 day in the county jail for every $50 that remains unpaid. That is definitely not something to take lightly.
All right, let's wrap this up with our conclusion and legal disclaimer.
Please keep this mandatory disclaimer in mind as you move forward. This video is provided for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. Please consult the Polk County official resources or legal professionals for any specific concerns or detailed assistance. We really want to empower you with good information, but handling your specific legal situation is ultimately your responsibility.
So, I want to leave you with one absolutely critical question today. Have you double-checked the exact state on your ticket yet? Before you do anything else today, before you even type a single letter into a search engine, go look at your physical paper ticket. Find out exactly which of the 12 Polk counties you are actually dealing with. Use the strategies we just talked about to navigate their specific system and get that ticket paid on time. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, safe travels out there.